Hey, welcome to my channel. 3 years ago, I made a video sharing 6 tips on using wooden stamps for creative journaling. It's been a well-loved video on my channel and I'm so thankful for that. Back then, I had a comment asking for a part 2 on clear stamp ideas, but I didn't own any at that time. 3 years later, this is my clear stamps collection. It's not huge, but I've been finding ways to use them creatively. Some ideas in this video are gonna be relevant for wooden stamps as well, so feel free to take the ideas and apply them to your own stamp collection. Without further ado, let's begin with part 1 of the video, tips on using clear stamps. Thanks to the transparent nature of the clear stamps, it's much easier to align these little letters to create a neat word compared to using wooden stamps. To make the process even easier, use a stamping block that comes with grid lines. You can place the stamps neatly along the lines. They help you create horizontal, vertical, and even diagonal alignments. You can also use the grids to guide your spacing. Since the stamps are see-through, don't worry about restamping if your first print is too light or incomplete. Simply align the stamp and the print as closely as possible to complete the print. Mistakes are much easier to fix compared to using wooden stamps. This tip was in my wooden stamps video as well. Did you know that you can use water-based brush pens to ink your stamps? Just color the stamp with the pen tip to ink it. You can broaden your ink color choices a whole lot if you own many brush pens of different colors. Clear stamps usually come in a set with a cohesive theme. I find that it's easy to create a page border or background using stamps from the same set. Also, since the stamping block is clear, you get to see where the prints are going more precisely than when you are using wooden stamps. This makes laying out your border or background a much easier task. Since restamping is really easy using clear stamps, you can create a cool gradient effect by stamping the same stamp a few times. I tried out this effect using the same ink color but changing the section of the stamp I'm inking each time. And then I tried out the same method but this time using 3 different ink colors. Also, I tried doing the same using brush pens. First, using one color only. Then I used 3 different colors to color parts of the front stamp. I love this method because the print looks more interesting and dimensional. Would you try it? You can also achieve a layered or shadow effect using the restamping method. But instead of stamping at the same position, adjust the stamp until it's slightly apart from the first print. This way you get a cool shadowish layered effect. You can also do the same using 2 contrasting colors for a louder look. I find that this method works especially well for words too. Besides using stamps from the same stamp set, feel free to mix and match your collection to achieve a unique print. For example, I find that my poster set works really well with my floral set to create floral stems. Since the stems are transparent, you can just place one set over another to check if each stem's size and shape can complement each other. It's really satisfying to find two stems from different sets that are a perfect match. In fact, you do not have to ink the entire stem. You can selectively ink sections of a stem to fit the design you have in mind. I'll talk more about this in the next tip. You can choose to ink your stem selectively to obtain a different design. For example, I'm inking the border on this label stamp to turn it into a frame. Then I'll combine it with my butterfly stamp to create a faux butterfly specimen. Even a small part of your stamp can be inked on its own to make a print, just like how I did here with the word and line on this stamp. I don't have a full stop in this alphabet set, but when I need it, I just ink the dot on letter I or letter J to print it. The beauty of using brush pens as ink is that you can color different parts of a stamp to create a multicolor effect. The fine tip of the pens make it easier to color parts of the stamp accurately. Don't you think that multicolor prints are so much more fun than single-colored ones? And that's all for today's sharing on using clear stems with 3 tips and 6 creative ideas. You can also mix and match the various methods to come up with your own unique prints. It seems like nothing is impossible. If you got that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other ideas, feel free to share in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.